And so we're going to now transition into story time. And we have four vivacious women who will be sharing their story. And in sharing their stories, I want to ensure that we understand how, when storytelling is done, how we build communities. And so we are going to begin with Bear Lavangi from Women's Tree Climbing Workshop. Bear, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. I want to welcome all the participants that are here. I'm very, very impressed at how many people took time out of their day, especially in the middle of the week, to come to a virtual conference. Being COVID, I understand that a lot of people are not comfortable going and seeing people. And I'm just very, very grateful that we're all one collective whole, even though it's on a virtual screen. So thanks for being here. Wow, after that keynote speaker, I am just, Brandy, you're amazing, and I'm inspired. So thank you. Getting a little choked up because women are often unrepresented in so many fields and so many professions. And in 2021 to be 22, it seems so strange that we're still fighting so hard just to be who we are, just to do the things that we're passionate about and the careers that we want to hold, and just to simply exist. We are blessed being in a first world country, and very entitled, because that's what we know, being in the United States. Globally, most people don't have this opportunity, and it's mind-blowing, again, just to reiterate that we're still fighting so hard. I would like to just share with you a little bit about the Women's Tree Climbing Workshop and what we are trying to do. Since 2009, we have created a safe and empowering learning environment for women, taught by women, to climb trees with a focus on arboriculture. And since then, we've taught over thousands of ladies how to climb trees across not only the United States, but in North America and parts of Europe. And we continue to push, not only to get more women involved, because in our field, collectively, there's a gap where there's about 10% women in arboriculture and about 3% is climbing arborists. In Finland, that percentage is much different, and it's about 51% arborists, and that's just a beautiful thing. Women have a different outlook on the environment. Women have a different outlook on nature, and offer a view that many people don't take the time to slow down and see. And I feel, and all of our instructors and our organization feel, that bringing more women will bring more people together to talk about trees and why they're so important for not only human beings, but for every single living critter on the planet. I want to, if you would like to learn more about what we do, you can go to our website, wtcw.org or womenstreeclimbingworkshop.com. Either one will bring you there. We have tons of pictures and we have tons of information, and you can reach out to us directly by just typing in an email, and we'll respond to you as soon as we hear from you. So thank you for inviting me to be a part of this amazing virtual conference. I'm so excited to learn from everybody here and all the amazing people, the panel of speakers, and in the chat. It's been wonderful to see everyone's thoughts and comments coming through. So again, I feel very blessed to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bear. We appreciate you sharing. We're now going to turn it over to Anna Saylor from the Venture Out Project. Saylor, Anna, the floor is yours.
And the interpreters will be switching.
Cool. Thank you so much for having me, everybody, and for everybody taking the time out of your worlds, wherever in the world you might be. This is one of the first conferences I've attended on behalf of the Venture Out Project. and so it's really special that it gets to be an all like woman identified group of people. It's been so inspiring to hear everybody so far, and I'm really looking forward to the rest of the event. But yeah, my name is Anna. I use she, her pronouns. I'm zooming in from the ancestral lands of the Pecumtuck, Agawam, and Nipmuc peoples, which is currently known as Northampton, Massachusetts, out in the hill towns. I am the marketing and partnerships coordinator of the Venture Out Project, which is a queer and trans owned and operated nonprofit that envisions a world where queer and trans and LGBTQ people, youth and adults are able to create community, develop leadership skills, and gain confidence through the shared experience of outdoor recreation, adventure, and physical activity. We accomplish this by doing in two major ways. The first is through the events that we host. We host day events and overnight adventures across the country, you know, from whitewater rafting to backcountry skiing to regular Thursday night hikes in the summer here. Plus, you know, we have a variety of affinity groups from plus size backpacking to sober trips to youth and 30 plus trips. We really try to create an inclusive experience that's welcoming to any LGBTQ person, which is unique, you know, because, you know, like Bear mentioned, women or feminine people, I feel, have the ability to access different parts of the outdoor world and are able to be really in touch with the level of spirituality that is involved in that, which is really, really special and is a major part of a lot of our trips at the Venture Out Project, is connecting people with that inbred, innate spirituality that is present in outdoor spaces, which is really, really special. And that, you know, leads to different levels of outdoor stewardship and environmental stewardship, which is so critical right now with what we're experiencing with climate change. And you know, the last thing that I'll say is the other part of our business and our organization here is that we offer something that we call Beyond Bathrooms, which is a Trans 101 inclusivity workshop. It's among a couple other things, you know, we provide other programs and services to those looking to make their existing programming or offices more inclusive and affirming to their trans and gender diverse people. You know, we've worked with Marmot and REI camps, different kinds of schools across the country, and engaged in small group discussion to really empower people both in the LGBTQ community and not, allies, people that are really wanting to learn in discussion around how they can make their LGBTQ counterparts feel more welcomed and affirmed in their workspace. And you know, I think our website will be posted into the chat. Thank you so much for doing that. But I will say that in 2022, we're really looking forward to expanding our volunteer program. Our goal is to have a TVOP event within a day's drive of anybody in the United States, which is kind of lofty after the pandemic. We kind of went back into our nucleus organization here in Massachusetts to kind of weather the storm, but we're excited to get back out there. And we're also excited to be partnering with some pretty big organizations across the country to lead these trips and make them the most accessible they can be. Thank you so much again for attending and for listening. And I look forward to hearing all of the other wonderful speakers.
Thank you so much, Anna. I will move on now to Lenora Pepper from Women Owning Woodlands. Lenora, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Mia. My name is Leonora Pepper. I'm based in New Mexico, where I work for the Forest Stewards Guild. And I'm so happy to be here today with all of you. The story I'd like to share today is about Women Owning Woodlands. And this program, which we affectionately call WOW for short, is all about providing programming, resources, and information for women woodland owners all across the country to support them in becoming empowered stewards of their land. So a couple of years ago, when I first moved into the role of coordinating the National Women Owning Woodlands Network, I was coming in the footsteps of some impressive women leaders who brought the network into being. And the first task I had was to help put together a big report for the grant supporting our work. And I wanted to look for material to help tell the story. So I delved into evaluation forms submitted by participants in past WOW workshops and programs. Everything from woods walks on landowner properties to Q&As with female foresters to wildlife tracking workshops taught by female wildlife biologists. And what I was struck by again and again in reading these feedback forms was the sense of inspiration generated from women learning from one another. And a quote that has since stuck with me was from one main workshop participant who wrote that meeting all kinds of women who are passionate about the outdoors is wicked empowering. So the bedrock of the WOW program is a network of professionals, mostly women, from across the country who work in their respective regions to offer outreach, education, and resources for women woodland owners, supporting them in really empowering themselves as active and engaged and thoughtful stewards of their land. Some of the content and themes differ region by region. For example, common non-timber forest products found locally, or invasive plant species that crop up in a given neck of the woods. But many themes are constant for women landowners anywhere. Where to start if you've never managed woodland before? How to find a forester to work with? Planning for the future of your woodland? Where to learn basic chainsaw safety skills and not feel foolish or out of place while doing it? In my role, I have the privilege of getting to convene this network of women professionals for conversations and opportunities to share ideas, successes, questions, mutual encouragement, conundrums, new approaches, and to come together in a women-focused space to support each other in our shared mission. For the WOW professionals too, many themes are constant. New WOW groups in one state might get input on how to conduct a needs assessment from other groups who've done it before. A popular landowner book group on forest ecology in one region might inspire a similar program in another state. And of course, in March and April 2020 and onward, we leaned heavily on each other's expertise as we all across the country navigated how to shift programming online and still provide a much needed women-focused space for our women woodland owner audiences. And what we've found again and again is that there's a specific kind of magic that happens when you get a group of women together to delve into forest stewardship and shared learning. There's a sense of connection and camaraderie that's hard to beat and materializes almost right off the bat when people arrive. Folks are at ease with each other, curious about each other's lives and land, and unafraid to ask questions. And among those of us who do outreach, lead, teach, or consult in the forestry space, we have such an opportunity to inspire and empower women who care for forests and woodlands as role models and by demonstrating how much is possible. So before I conclude, I wanted to share a brief slideshow with you all. There we go. So these are photos from some past WOW workshops and events. These are a few of my favorites, and what I'd like to point out are the expressions on everyone's faces. I think there's a visible sense of enthusiasm, playfulness, and connection that speaks to the power of bringing together women to teach and learn in the forestry context. So with that, I will wrap up, and thank you all so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Leonora. And I want to thank you ladies for sharing your story. And I was over here jotting down notes because I'm like, I need to reach out to these folks because it's a lot of great resources that I and I'm sure others may not even had known about. And so again, as we talk about building our community and supporting one another through what you all just shared with us, it is a lot of different resources in which women have space to be able to be our vulnerable selves and able to truly support one another. So I truly want to thank all of you for sharing your story.